Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to our BKFC Reddit Ice Wars edition. We have a very special guest. We have Mr. Antonio Sabato Jr. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for having me on your show.
I would have never thought I'd have you on the show. So let me tell people, like I'm working Ice Wars. I got my stopwatch and I'm paying attention. And I hear this guy, just this voice over and over, coaching the fighters, and
That's
fighters
right.
actually listening to them. And I turn
That's
around
right.
and it's you, and it blew me away.
And as a matter of fact, the fighters that listened to me, they won.
Did you notice that too? I noticed that.
Well, they listened to me very carefully, and they did win. And they actually got the shots that I was telling them to do, and the combinations. And it was great. I actually told. They looked at me every time they stopped, and the round was over. It was exciting. So they listened, and they did it, and they won. So I'm glad.
How tempted were you to just go stand in the corner and corner the guys?
I wanted to real bad, especially the fights that some of them lost because I knew they could have won it. But it was exciting. It was an exciting night. I think the venue is gonna. I mean, this whole organization is gonna take off. I know they're coming to Tampa. I'm gonna be at the Tampa fights. I think it's really interesting and it's gonna bring more attention to the fight world. It's exciting.
So I went as a fan. I had every I talked to the guys, so I had every intention of going. And it's weird because it was their first event, so a bunch of stuff was falling through the cracks. So they said, "Hey, can you work it?" So I actually didn't get to experience that I had hoped. What did you think as a fan? Like, you were watching everything. Did you love it?
I think I loved it because I love hockey. I mean, that's one
Sure.
of my favorite sports, and we go see it. We live in Tampa. We have a great hockey team. But to have a fight just on the hockey, premises, I think it's exciting, and I think it was done so well. I think it was professionally done. The lighting, the whole setup, the production value was really high. The fans loved it. All my fighter friends that were there, Tommy Hearns was there, and Bronco was there. These are fighters that fought professionally. Obviously, Tommy Hearns, the champ. They all loved it. It was very, very entertaining, and it went really, really fluently through the night. I think all the fights went really well,
Sure.
different weight category and the whole thing. And the announcer Todd is a friend of mine as well. He did amazing. So I think it's going to take off.
It was interesting because I had talked to Charlie and he's like, "Oh, I have some celebrities," and I expected them to have John Morassi there from Shorzy and maybe a couple hockey guys. But I see these world famous boxers and you come walking in. I'm like, holy shit, he did really get a bunch of celebrities for this.
Yeah, these are all friends of mine. We all came. I came from Tampa. Everybody else came from Detroit. It was very exciting. I think, and I had the chance to talk to the fighters before the event. I got to know them, their background, their hockey background, and stuff like that. But I tell you, if these fighters listen to me and they get a really good boxing trainer and a boxing camp, they're going to do very, very well. It's going to take, and in 1 minute they can do a lot of damage.
It's interesting because I've interviewed several of the guys, and so I predominantly do the bare knuckle, the BKFC stuff. Damon Feldman's
Yeah.
brother David, he's got the BKFC. But a
Yep.
lot of these hockey fighters want to transition to that. They go, look, I
That's
fight
great.
bare knuckle anyway. So I talked to the Laporte twins. They said, look, that's the goal. I want to do really good in this, and I want
Yeah.
BKFC to say, we want you to come to the big leagues.
I think it's all good. I think the fighting game is it's elevating to a whole new level, different venue, different organizations, and it's fun. I think it's fight sells. Good fights sell all over the place. I mean, that night we had celebrity boxing, we had this one, we had the Zone, you had the UFC, all at the same time. So that goes to show you that fighting is very, very popular. And I think this one has got a whole different, just kind of just his own thing going on, which is exciting, and I think it's going to bring even more attention to the fight world.
Was there anybody that stood out to you? To me, the twins looked fantastic.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
was
The
it
twins
was it
were really phenomenal. They know their stuff. They got really long reach. They could actually don't even have to get close. I think their jab is phenomenal. I think they have some combinations. But like I said, if they really work on their boxing and they really get into a good camp, they're going to do a lot of damage. It's going to be fun to see.
okay? So you actually have a fight coming up. Like,
Yeah,
have you always been a boxer? Like, I saw your
yeah,
nickname, the Italian Stallion. Is that
yeah.
one of those things like you wish you'd been able to pursue the boxing a little more when you were younger?
Well, I started. I was going to fight Roy Jones Jr. on a celebrity boxing match in the '90s. Me and him were signed up. We're going to do it. It never worked out because I was doing a lot of movies and I was traveling all over the world. And for some reason, he was also training and fighting for the heavyweight as well as all the other belts he acquired. So it never worked out. But I've always been boxing, always been in the ring, always been sparring for over 30 some years, and now I see all these YouTubers like Jake Paul and Logan Paul and whatever, setting up these big fights, and I believe in myself being a lot better than all these guys. So, I challenged a lot of actors, and they said no. I'll challenge, Jake Paul and his brother anytime. Also, I just seen recently Mayweather put something out where he's going to challenge people for $1 million. I'm in it. If he wants to
Sure.
step up, I'd love to fight Mayweather, Conor McGregor, and all that stuff. My manager, Jackie Callan, she's a Hall of Famer, right? And she took me on because she believes in my talent. She's like, you're crazy. I love that. It's like I've been training my whole life. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm going to camp right now, Steel Boxer, which is going to be starting in about 2 weeks in Venice Beach, California. I'll be starting to my sparring and my 9 weeks of preparation for September 26th in Philly. So it's exciting. So, I turned pro as a race car driver many, many years ago. So I've been in sports and in boxing. My father would put me in boxing when I was 6 years old, and I want to do it. I really want to do it, and I'm dedicating a lot of my time. My family's behind me. It's exciting. So I'm looking forward to beating all these guys.
So I was doing like, you're like, I'm free whenever. I told you like, give me 45 minutes. I wanted to research you a little bit. I felt like we had met and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm reading that your parents were circus performers. Can you tell me about that? And I heard
my
you
mother
won a circus.
was.
Okay, can you tell me
Yeah, my
about that?
mother, and also I won Celebrity Circus. I won a lot of competitions, reality show. I also won Cupcake Wars. Imagine
Okay.
that. So everything that I've done competition wise, I don't want to lose. I win everything I do, and I give my all. Whether I'm making movies, whether I'm doing reality shows, whether now I'm in sports, whatever it takes. But my mother was in a circus back in the day. She was from the Czech Republic, and during the Communist Party, her and my grandfather and my grandmother traveled and had a circus that went all the way to the Middle East and Lebanon, beautiful countries in Turkey, all over the place. And my father was in sports. My father was a great actor. He's in heaven now, but he was, he did a lot of Roman wrestling, judo, boxing. He was training with a lot of professionals. So I grew up with my parents are very much in athletes all their lives.
What was the performance that you did to win the circus competition? What did you perform?
I did three of them. I did the balancing act. I did the flying silk,
Okay.
and I also did the Chinese poles. I did three different acts that I had to train for about 8 weeks, and I won that. It was very, very challenging because I don't think it's ever going to happen again. We had celebrities who broke their ribs, their elbow.
Yeah.
I also did the Wheel of Death too. I did that one too.
Oh
So I
wow.
did all the hardest ones, and I challenged myself to do it, and I won it.
So a good friend of mine is Blake Walinda, and the only reason we're friends is because he really likes to play with alligators and crocodiles, and that's what I do for a living too. And it's just
Yeah.
funny, like how you circus people, like like you guys are all in great shape, and you're all like your reflexes are fast, so it makes sense that you'd be a great in boxing too.
Yeah, and I raced at Indianapolis. I race in cars, very high speeds, over 200 miles per hour. I've been racing motorcycles as well, jumping out of planes, all the stuff that Tom Cruise has done. I've been doing flying planes, helicopters, you name it, swimming with sharks. I'm the only one that swim with sharks in Las Vegas. There's one of the biggest tanks out there. And I put the mesh, I signed my life away, jumped in the tank, spent about an hour and a half with about 35 different tiger sharks. So for me, I fear no one, or I fear nothing, and whatever I want to set myself to do, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do the best I can, and I'm going to win it no matter what.
You'll have to go with me. So I work at the Colorado Gator Farm. I don't live there, but I do the social media now. But
Yeah.
we go out there and we catch the big alligators and treat their wounds because they fight a lot. So yeah, we'll go get you like on a 10-foot alligator and we'll let you do some
Well, I
alligator
live in
game.
Florida, man. I got alligators living down the street, man. So
I saw
I'm
that.
good with alligators, man.
Are you a better athlete or a better actor?
I both. I mean, I put 110% in everything that I do. I have a movie coming out that I'm very excited this fall called 426. It's a horror movie that everybody's talking about, that I put a lot of energy into. My last film, Grace by Night, is a beautiful wrestling movie. You can
I
get it
like
on
it.
Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everything that I do, I put 110%. I work extremely hard. That's just the type of person I am. It's not about ego. It's about being passionate about something, and it's about showing the world that you can do anything you set your mind to. It doesn't matter what age. It doesn't matter. They say I'm 53. I could care less. I feel like I'm 23 right now, and the best is yet to come. This year is going to be very big for me. Celebrity boxing is behind me 100%. We're going to have the biggest celebrity boxing event, and I'm the main card. I'm the main card that night in Philly. Philly's coming out. New York is
Yeah.
coming out. People from Italy are flying out. They want to book their tickets. So we're going to make this the biggest celebrity event of all time.
Now I don't believe have they announced your opponent. Like I know you can't tell if they haven't, but like
They have an
I saw.
opponent. They're going to announce this week. They're
Okay,
on top of it, but I told them it doesn't matter. I'll fight anybody at 168 pounds, super middleweight. I guess we're fighting for a celebrity super middleweight championship belt. But I'm ready. Right now I'm ready to fight anybody. But after my 9 weeks, I'll be ready to fight Mayweather and anybody in between, man. I kid you not.
so I know you're born in Rome. BKFC was just over there in Italy. It's crazy how like gifted and like how much passion. I watched the
Yeah,
Italy event on TV, and it was
yeah,
it was just it was so beautiful. Like
yeah.
that's got to be something you hopefully want to do at some point too. Is fight over in Italy, right?
Oh man, I would love to fight in Rome. I would love to fight in Italy. I even told everyone at the organization this weekend that a lot of hockey players will love to do this from Russia, from the Czech
Sure.
Republic, from Poland, Europeans against Americans and Canadians. You can set something up beautifully. But for me and my boxing to fight in Italy and go there, that would be amazing. I mean, my family and everybody else, the whole country of Italy would be there with me.
What's it like in a training camp for you? Like you said, you go to California to train for it.
Yeah, Steel Boxer is my training camp, my gym. Chris Steele is my trainer. We've been training for many, many years. Our favorite boxers is Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard, who I also met and known. And my style, it's stick and move on my feet. Everybody fights the same way nowadays. They square off, the big shots, the combinations, if that. But it's usually the big shots, square off. For me, it's moving around, stick and move, throwing a lot of punches. It's what Muhammad Ali and Sugar Leonard was good at, and Tommy Hearns and Hagler and all these guys. So I want to bring back that style that you haven't seen. And also, I'm willing to fight more than once a year. I mean, all these fighters right now, especially the pros, they fight once a year. I mean, Canelo is fighting Crawford for the first time this year in September.
Right.
He already refused to fight other guys. I'll fight anybody at my age, So obviously, I'm in my 50s, right? So they're not going to sanction me a fight. So I'll fight celebrity, whatever. But these
Sure.
fights are real. They're real fighting.
Absolutely.
Mouthpiece, gloves, the same thing. It's just not going to be sanctioned, but I'm willing to fight anybody, and I would love to get in the ring with Mayweather. I'm gonna make him pay. I mean, it's not going to be easy with me in that ring. It's not like anything you've seen, especially from an Italian guy. No.
It's interesting you talk about stick and move. There's so many people now that are like, oh, I like getting hit and I'd like just standing in front of the guy. I think I miss
No.
the old art of hit and don't get hit. Like everybody wants to
Yeah.
trade punches and it makes no sense.
The art of boxing is about hitting and not getting hit. Nobody wants to get hit. I don't care. And why should you stand there? You got to. It's class, it's movement, it's stick and move, throwing a lot of punches, stick and move, and then get out of the way. And he doesn't even know where he's at. Using the entire ring. Those things don't happen. They all fight the same way, and the guy that wins is the guy that gets the liver shot or gets a good shot or wins on points. But for me, it's a different story. I think there's something beautiful about dancing in the ring like they used to. And they don't do that anymore. Look at the bodies. Look at the way they were fit. Sugar,
Sure.
Atlanta, Hagler, Duran, and Hearns. All those guys used to fight each other. My friend Bronco, he's professional. He used to be a professional fighter. That guy used to fight 12 times a year.
Right.
And Winky Wright. I mean, and these guys used to fight like every other month. Now you got to pay guys like Canelo $200 million to fight. And if it's not the money, they're not going to fight. Then you have the Jake Paul, who's fighting guys that he pretty much signs up to fight. He knows exactly he's going to win. He fought Tyson after Tyson's been smoking weed for like over 20 years. Everybody was
Right.
expecting Tyson to be the same guy. He's not going to be the same. His lungs, he was completely out. And who knows if that fight was even fixed. But it's about money and all that. What about just the beauty of boxing? Is about like getting in and getting out and doing a lot of combinations and throwing a lot of punches and having that coordination and that stamina that most fighters don't have. They want to win on points, they want to go on the big shots, and that's it. And that's not exciting to me. Everybody fights the same way. It's not me. I don't want to fight like that.
To me, boxing started losing a lot of its luster when everybody was picking fights and it's so political and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
wants to pad their record and protect their record, and you're not seeing the
Yeah.
best guys versus the best guys.
And also you have all these belts, you have all these
Yeah,
organizations and stuff like that. But on top of that, they don't fight a lot. They fight once a year and then they take off. And a lot of these boxers, the best boxers are the ones who stay in shape all the time. Like they're truly in the gym 12 months a year. Then you have Jake Paul who fights once a year, maybe twice a year, right? For a lot of money, who puts weight, loses the weight, puts the weight, loses the weight. And then when he's off, he gets on, he doesn't look like an athlete anymore. Like these guys that don't take it serious. For me, I never stopped training. Like my whole life, I never stopped training. And now more so to a whole new level. So for me, it's about lifestyle. It's about training all the time. That's how much I love boxing, is that the fight is over. I'm not going to take off and put on the weight and go on vacation for 3 months, enjoy the money and blah blah blah, and then set up another fight maybe next year. Or it's not like that for me. I want to fight again this year after September and December. I want to set up a big fight at the end of the year with somebody even bigger. I mean, I have those goals, and they say, well, you're 53, so what? I'm healthier and faster than any of these guys.
sure.
And I take it really serious, and I think I'm going to shock the world, and people are going to say, well, we didn't expect that from him. So that's what we want, and I'm excited for what's coming.
It'd be hard to predict you as an underdog. I mean, like you said, you're always. I see you in your shape. One of the things that draws me to you, and then I go, I was interested in talking to you at the event. Anybody who said hello to you, or you turn around, you talk to them. You go to a lot of these things, and I see a lot of celebrities. And once they're on the other side of that cage, they don't want to talk to anybody. They look
Yeah,
forward. They ignore people. You're talking to people. People go on your live stream. You're, hey, how's it going, Chip?
yeah,
And
I'm a
you're
regular
talking to them.
guy. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
a regular guy. And also, I don't have to sell the fight by calling people names and all that stuff that they do at press conferences and have all that profanity, all that stuff. For me, it's in the ring, man. You can call me any name you want. You can say whatever you want. But when that bell rings and I'm there, you're not going to see what hit you. And that's what I'm about. I'm about showcasing my talent, working extremely hard. The stuff that we do in my gym, a steel boxer, nobody does. Everybody does a few rounds here and there. They train the same way, they jump rope and they speed bag and they showcase a little bit of this and that. For me, it's a lifestyle. For me, is running and training and sparring every day, like to a whole new level. Like my lungs are like full of like all this energy and stuff. For me, it's not about 20 rounds. It's not 12 rounds. It's about 24 rounds. For me, it's like longevity, sticking, like really the durability that I have mentally and physically is a whole new level. And that's why I want to showcase the to people, especially as they get older. It's not over, man. It's like people after 30 they give up. After 40, it's over. Their libido, their testosterone, all this. I'm like, you gotta keep going. You gotta the best is yet to come.
sure,
I mean, Foreman won the championship when he was in his 40s. Look at me. I am
absolutely.
ready to rock and roll, man. And my stamina, and I'm not even in camp yet. On camp, I'm going to start in 2 weeks. So imagine how I'm going to take it a whole new level. So it's exciting to push yourself to new levels. And I can't wait for people to step up, and come to me. Let's go talk the game, whatever you want to do. But once that bell ring, let's go.
What is it about Tampa? So you have the BKFC gym, Shift MMA or Shift Combat out there. They have three BKFC champions. You're
Yeah,
out there,
yeah,
Winky Wright's around the area, Clearwater, I think.
yeah,
What is
yeah.
it?
Peter.
What is it with that area? Like it's just full of phenomenal athletes.
It's healthy. It's a healthy environment living in Florida. It's clean. You got the beaches, you got the sun. You got to be outside and just enjoy the weather. Also, people are very much, there's a lot of athletes here because, like I said, the environment is very much clean for an athlete to live. We have great restaurants. The nightlife here is phenomenal and clean. You can walk at night and it feels safe. We don't have homelessness everywhere. We have a governor that takes care of our people. The law enforcement is ready to
Yeah,
come and see me fight. Like we have, and also we're close to all the major cities, Philly, New York. Everybody can just, even Detroit, 2 hours away, you're here.
sure.
So it's just a very beautiful town. And also, Tampa is not just Tampa. We have St. Petersburg, we have Tampa. We have two major cities combined just like by a bridge.
Sure.
And so there's a lot of environment that keeps you outside, not strapped inside a house, on social media. Here, you got to be outside, enjoy the weather, and enjoy. And it's 12 months a year. In Tampa, it's not as hot. It is humid, but it's not as bad as Miami. And but it's and you have Miami people coming here, and I think this town is blowing up. The best is yet to come. Tampa is one of the best places, and we love it here. Me and my wife love it here, and we're not going to go anywhere else.
So I saw you. I didn't see much fat on that you to trim up. Are you a guy who likes to fight about the weight that you walk around, or do you cut much?
I keep it about a mid 170s.
Okay,
175 is my weight, and then I cut down 7 pounds probably in a day over one
perfect.
sparring session. I'm a 168, but I don't like to be heavy. I like to be lean. You know, my body's growing up. My favorite bodies were Bruce Lee and Steve Reeves, right? Those
Okay.
guys, and my father too. My father was very lean all his life. But to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger, no, that's not me. I don't want to be a bodybuilder. I want to be lean, strong, and fast. I want to be able to run a marathon. I want to be able to do a lot of rounds. I want to be able to be extremely fast, all the ligaments and everything. And also the way I eat, the way my lifestyle is on point, man. I can't I don't even drink coffee anymore. Like for me, it's like living the cleanest, the healthiest, and just to be an athlete, like a whole new level. Now that I'm fighting, like I'm gonna be in front of the world, a whole new level, my friend. I'm very, very excited.
I saw that you're doing more like directing and like getting more involved with that. Is there a story out there that you're really excited to be told that hasn't come up yet, or is there any projects that you're really looking forward to coming up?
Yeah, there's a movie that my father wrote. God bless his soul. You know, he's in heaven now. That it's called Moments That Count, and it's about a boxer who is pretty much coming back to boxing because of the love of his life that is dying of leukemia. It's a wonderful love story, and boxing is the center of it. And I would love to do that film for him, and I would love to do that. And it's just one of the dreams that I have. And also racing. Racing is very important for me. I'm in talks with McLaren. McLaren teams and the series here in North America and in Europe. Next year, I would love to do the entire series. I would love to
Oh
race a
wow.
24-hour Le Mans. We just finished this weekend. It's one of my passions. I raced at Indianapolis, so I did that. I raced at Laguna Seca. That was one of my goals. I would love to race in Monaco and 24-hour Le Mans in the next few years and get that done. But boxing is definitely something that my father would be very proud of. He definitely would have been there in my corner. He's there in my spirit. And I'm doing all these things for my dad and my country because my country is Italy and also America. And I love both of them, what they've done for me and my family, my children, my wife. My mother's all behind me. They think I'm out of my mind, but they've known that for a long time. So
What is it about the racing? Is it like you're going so fast, you're on the edge? Like, what is it about the racing that just draws you? Because I see you light up when you talk about the racing.
it's a sport. It's a beautiful sport. It's an amazing sport that it's very complex. It takes a lot of dedication, physical, mentally, and everything else in between, to finish a race. And to finish something like 24-hour Le Mans, 24-hour racing, to race at 3 hours at a time, or 2 hours at a time in the middle of the night. And being able to finish something, where you're dependent on the car, the team. There's one of my cats that we
Yeah.
rescued, Ginger. So we have, racing is about the whole team coming together and setting up a car and qualifying the right way, and just car control, and really getting to be with you and the car. And my father was a race car driver. My uncle was a race car driver. My
Okay.
cousin is a race car driver. So we grew up in Italy, with Formula One. Now Formula One is popular here, but I was the first spokesperson for Formula One Indianapolis Grand Prix back in the day. Tony George hired me to speak about Formula One. I know more about Formula One than the drivers themselves. I've been following them my whole life. So for me, racing is very special. It's like in the blood, just like boxing is. And I really appreciate the sport of racing, and it's a wonderful, amazing sport. And Formula One, I'm glad it's taken off in America and the world finally. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for what the sport of racing is still there. I love NASCAR. I love Daytona, 24-hour Sebring or Daytona. I would love to do those. And I'm a hell of a driver. And I think physically, mentally, I'm in the best shape of my life. And I think that's what teams want. I could race any category at any time.
It's funny, like you always hear, like, oh, this person's so lucky. Someone to say, oh, Antonio's so lucky he gets to do this. But to hear you talk, you're super passionate and you're very gung ho and you go get it. You know what I mean? So many people think, like, oh, you just lucked into suddenly driving an F1 car.
No,
Like, they don't
I don't
realize the
believe in
hard
luck.
work. Sure.
Yeah, I don't believe in luck in any way. I believe in making things happen for yourself. I believe in blessings, and I'm definitely blessed and humbled to have, from the man upstairs, the things that I have. But it's about hard work. It's about never giving up. It's about making your dreams come true. but luck has nothing to do with it. You know, you make it happen. You train really hard. You're ready for any opportunity that comes your way. And you know, I'm involved in real estate and movies and racing and boxing. And they ask me, why are you doing all this stuff? Because that's the type of person that I am. I don't want to lose at anything that I'm passionate about. And I want to do everything at the same time. And I want to go after everything that I'm passionate and I am dedicated to. And all these things are part of who I am. So I want to dedicate myself and work the hardest. And I've always been that way. So it's not just now, but now things are happening. God makes it happen at the, at that time. It's meant to be, and I'm excited.
Okay, I gotta give a shout out to my wife. She's a big Mark Wahlberg fan, and she's oh, I love when
Yeah,
he did Calvin Klein, and she goes,
yeah.
but did you know that Antonio is also a Calvin Klein underwear model? Can you tell us any fun stories from back then?
Oh yeah. I mean, I worked for Calvin. I did 3 campaigns for Calvin, the longest male model, but I never really modeled. I was doing movies, and Calvin saw one of my movies that was called "If Looks Could Kill." It was a great film with Brett Dourif and David Keith, and it was a wonderful film that he saw, and he said, maybe this guy could do my next campaign. And I ended up doing 3 campaigns for him in the '90s, which were really beneficial for me, and I'm so blessed to be part of it. Calvin Klein is a friend. So if I was going to do a campaign, I was going to do it with Calvin, and yeah, we have that in common with Mark. Also, me and Mark were, we worked on The Big Hit together, a great
Right?
film, funny film with Bokeem Woodbine, Lou Diamond Phillips, Christina Applegate, and we had, Wesley Snipes produced that film. So I've been truly blessed. But like I said, it's about hard work, dedication, and never giving up on your dreams. And when doors close, it means they weren't meant to be. You just keep opening or keep knocking other doors down. And I just saw Mark actually. We played golf last
I
weekend in
saw that.
Detroit, and we had a great time. All the boxers and athletes and hockey players and basketball players were there, and those events are really phenomenal. They mean a lot to me to catch up with all these people that I just have so much I have so much love for, and it was good to catch up with Mark.
So you're a phenomenal athlete. Is there any chance Charlie's able to convince you to learn how to skate good so he can do a celebrity, ice wars and you could,
I
fight
know
with
how to
other
skate
celebrities?
already. I love to play
Okay.
hockey on the streets, but I'm just not for me. It's not my style. I don't want to bang like that. For me, I need to have a little bit more room. I need to be able to stick and move and get out of the way. These guys love to get, they love to get hit. I mean, listen, they've been playing hockey their whole life. Hockey is one of the
Sure.
toughest sports. That none of them have their teeth, and they're fine with it. I want to keep my teeth, and I have great respect for them, but definitely no. I don't want to fight on the ice. No, it's okay. I'll fight in the ring anytime, no problem.
The guy who the Chief Big Snake, he knocked out the other guy, but it turns out like he broke his ribs. That guy came up to me afterwards and was like, "Oh, I broke my ribs, but I'll be okay. I'll
Yep.
be back on the." And I'm like, "You guys are just so tough. Like it's unbelievable."
They're the toughest, and I talked to both of them before the fight, and I talked to them after the fight, and I fell for them, but obviously I fell for the guy that broke his rib. He actually landed on
Yeah.
his rib, and his arm was underneath. So, and plus he got knocked out a little bit, right? Because the
Yeah.
other guy was a beast.
Absolutely.
But I think they have a phenomenal future. I think it's going to take off. They're going to raise and keep raising the bar, and I think they're going to bring Europeans and all kinds of people and athletes from all over the world because it was definitely entertaining, and the crowd was just off the charts. I still don't have my voice. I lost my voice, talking to these guys, and the best is yet to come. It's exciting.
I feel like you either need to be the celebrity corner guy or at least a celebrity judge because you know a lot of it. Like like I
Yep.
said, you hear so many. You go to these fights and you hear hit him, and it's just dumb stuff. But to hear intelligent words coming out of your mouth and people listen,
Combinations, man. I
yeah,
just see a lot of openings. I think if they really work on their boxing, they can do amazing work. The fights are going to be very quick and they're going to be over very quick if they know what they're doing. I mean, on the ice, on the skates, they're already set. That's
sure.
already done. They're already perfect on that. They've been skating their whole lives. But once you have the combinations, you can protect this, you can switch sides, you can grab and hit and get out of the way. I mean, imagine if you have somebody on skates who can move out of the way, grab and hit and move out of the way because they don't have to. They know how to fight on the ice, which means is grabbing, holding, and punching is hard, maybe switching and then ducking or whatever and all that.
Sure.
But if you can let go and come in with combinations, step out and all that, how exciting would that be on the ice? It would be phenomenal to see.
Nick Laporte gave us a little bit of that. Like
Yeah.
like you said, he used his distance, and it's so
Yep.
funny because he and his brother each sent me training videos doing the same thing. But
Yeah.
Will got so hyped up seeing his brother do what he did. He kept grabbing his guy, and Nick kept saying like, back off," and he ended up hurting the guy's shoulder. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
I think being able to use your distance is going to be a
Look at the
huge.
Twins. The Twins did it
Yep.
perfectly because they have a long reach and they were coming in with those hooks and those hooks were landing. And once you land a couple, I have those gloves, or was it 2 ounce gloves or whatever, 4 ounce
I think they're
gloves?
4 ounce gloves. Yeah.
They're 4 ounce gloves. So the 4 ounce gloves, as soon as you touch and you have a good combination, you throw your body, you can really place yourself down with those skates. Man, and you use your hip and everything. That's a knockout. Oh, any of those punches, even a jab, you can knock out. Even and the uppercuts are phenomenal. So you can let go, come in, step out, come back on your skates. I mean, it'd be phenomenal. I think it'd be great to see somebody do that.
So HKA, they sponsor me in the podcast. He saw you. He goes, he likes boxing. You think he'd like these gloves? And I said, go get the gloves. You got to give them to him. So
Oh, they're great.
he
I
was
tried them
so excited.
today. Yeah, I tried them today. They're great boxing. Bag gloves. They're phenomenal. And yeah, I used them today. They're good. Thumbs up.
All right. All right. The last question I always ask people the first time I have them on my show. Do you remember the first time you were in a street fight, the first time you punched somebody out of anger, not a relative, like no cousins or anything?
Well, I don't promote street fights because street fights is a whole different ball game. But if you meet
Sure.
somebody that knows how to box and cover themselves and throw some combinations, usually street fights are over in about 30 seconds or less. But also street fights could be people throwing stuff and you don't know when
Sure.
things are coming. So what I do if you have a confrontation with somebody, you just calm down. You say, "Listen, I know you want to have some beef with me. Let's meet at the gym. Let's put some proper gear on, a mouthpiece, and let's go at it." But obviously, I don't support that. But when you got to protect yourself, I had my share of street fights. I never lost a street fight, but I
Okay.
also don't want to have a street fight.
Sure.
But my street fights were over very quickly.
It's interesting because as I interview professional fighters, the amount of professional fighters that have been like, I've never been in a street fight, or they say like, I've been in hundreds of street fight. You know what I mean? You have the two sides. But I figured you were kind of a tough kid growing up, and a lot of people,
Yeah, I
like,
had street fights, and I don't, like I said, I don't promote them. I think they're
sure,
just very very dangerous. But obviously,
absolutely,
when you have to protect yourself and somebody puts their hands on you, it's 1-2 combination, very close, and it's over. Once they touch me, it's pretty much over. And the thing is, what comes afterwards. I mean, you could have events where the guy falls on the ground,
sure,
concrete, sidewalk, breaks his head, goes in a coma. It's not worth it. It's just that's what happens usually in the street fights. When you knock somebody out, they're falling and they're falling on something very hardcore, and
right.
the aftermath of that is not pretty. But when you have to protect yourself, it's good to protect yourself. Keep your hands up at all times, and maybe just step away to do your thing. But if they're coming at you, pop pop 1-2, it's over.
Okay, is there any message for the fans or anything you'd like to get out before we call it a day?
Well, I think they're coming to Tampa. I think this is going to be even a bigger event. It's going to keep growing. I think come down and check these guys. Ice Wars. It's just a phenomenal event. I think everybody's going to have a great time. Come to my fight September 26th in Philadelphia. That's going to be phenomenal with celebrity boxing. And also my training camp. You guys are welcome to come to the gym, a Steel Boxer down in Venice Beach, starting July 1st. We'll have a lot of sparring days. The press is going to be there and very exciting. So any of those, you're welcome to be part of.
A man of the people, a guy who's just a gentleman all around. I thank you so much for your time, Antonio, and I can't wait to talk to you again.
Thank you, my brother.
Have a good day. Thanks. Bye.
You too. You too.